Welcome back to Free Flow Friday, where we discuss the interconnectedness of mindfulness, entrepreneurship, passion, and spirituality. It's Arianna here, and it's time to evoke your inner boss. On today's episode, we're going to be discussing how to master your mind, which can seem like a very massive project and undertaking, but I'm going to break it down into some steps that make it easy and attainable for you to achieve. Before we get into it, we need to establish what the mind is. People typically use the terms brain and mind interchangeably, although they are not. The mind refers to our ability to think, feel, and engage in activities, whereas the brain refers to the physical organ in our head that helps us support these functions. To break it down into even simpler terms, the mind is mental, the brain is physical. But today we're going to be focusing on the mind, our mental. If the mind is in charge of how we think, feel, and choose, then we have the power to take charge of our mind and make our mind work for us and not against us. Let's talk about how we think. What are the words that you're constantly repeating back to yourself? Are they positive? Are they negative? We need to start being intentional about the words that we're repeating in our mind. And we need to address those and start shifting that so we can shift our mindset and then again, shift our reality. The words that we say to ourselves greatly impact us because even for me planning this video out, I always have my notepad right here in front of me so I can follow along and make sure I get all of my points across. But I was looking at my notes. I was like, oh, this is not enough. I don't know if I'm ready to film this video yet. And I just kept procrastinating and putting it off. I was supposed to film this a few days ago, to be honest. But I was like, no, I'm not ready. And even today I was looking over my notes. I was like, well, maybe if I just do it tomorrow. And I was like, you know what, Arianna, if you continue to tell yourself that, it's never going to get done. You're prepared enough. You have enough experience, intellect, to deliver the message and just hop on, get it done. And here I am. You need to recognize that words are spells and they have a great impact on your life. That's why when we are writing out a word or spelling out a word, it's called spelling out a word. Words are spells. So recognize what you're saying. They are incredibly powerful and can greatly impact you. You want to notice the weight of the words in your body. So when you say these words out loud, how do they make you feel? How does your body react to those words? For instance, the term productivity, that makes me feel a bit stressed. It tightens my body. It feels heavy, burdensome because we have so many negative connotations put in with productivity and worthiness. In today's society, we have equated worthiness with productivity. If we're not productive, then we're not worthy of holding space. We don't hold enough value instead of recognizing our worthiness just as we are. So I already have those connotations in the back of my head. So the word productivity feels heavy in my body. Whereas mindfulness, I feel lighter. I feel free. I feel full of opportunity and ready to explore and inquire. Even when I'm describing them right now, you can see how my shift in energy was. Productivity. I was even in my voice, I sounded a little bit more stressed, a little bit more constricted. And in mindfulness, I started to float a little bit more. So I think that's a really important tool and something to address when you are having these thoughts in your mind. What are the words? And say them out loud and see how they make your body feel and what is the immediate subconscious response to it. A way you can start shifting your thought patterns and the words you use is by incorporating affirmations. We all hear about it constantly all over the internet. Pick out your affirmations. And I think it's really important to pick something super specific to you or something that makes you feel good in your body when you say it. So for me, that is, I'm open to the magic of today. Doesn't that feel just so freeing? Like I feel alive. I feel ready to take on the day because the possibilities are absolutely endless. And that's exactly the mindset you want to start creating for yourself so that you can have an abundant and free-flowing life. In order to be intentional about changing these old thought patterns, we need to start asking ourselves questions in the moment as we feel these old cycles popping back up, trying to self-sabotage, keep us in our old patterns. Ask yourself what situations happen right before you decide to start slipping into your old thought patterns. What is the urgency to keep you stuck in what you've always known and what is no longer serving you? And how are you feeling in that moment? What is it triggering within you that in a way kind of comforts you to stay there? These are all the questions you want to start asking yourself so you can start breaking down your self-sabotaging mindset. I have a little exercise for you guys if you're interested in breaking down these old thought patterns, jumping into life, and mastering your own mind. So if you're somebody who tends to look at the big picture of things and get overwhelmed by your big dreams and all the little goals that you have to do to get there, this is a great way to stop those negative self-sabotaging thoughts that get you overwhelmed, put you into your fight or flight mode, and you just stop them dead in their tracks. And you're like, whoa, we are not gonna go there because that's what? No longer serving me. I got inspiration for this exercise from both a TikTok and from Mel Robbins, and she is one of my favorite inspirational speakers. But basically, in order to cut down on your procrastination, self-sabotaging, and master your mind, you want to tell yourself that you only have one task to do that day. Even though, that's not necessarily true, especially if you're somebody who likes to write out long lists of things. I've actually been practicing the first part of this exercise. And the other day when I was taking a shower, I was telling myself, this is the only task I have to do today. So it allowed me to just fully settle into the present moment and enjoy every piece of it. And I even took time to smell the soap that I was using, like actually take a second and be like, oh, let me smell deeply like what this is. Instead of just like rushing and be like, oh, I need to like put soap on my body and like get it done so I can move on to the next thing. I was able to fully experience the moment with all of my senses, which was really amazing. In combination with that, I would use Mel Robbins' countdown method. And that is simply saying in your mind, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and doing it. You don't allow your mind any time to race, overthink, and tell yourself why you shouldn't do that task for whatever reason, And I noticed with doing this method, I stopped overthinking. I was taken out of fight or flight mode, brought into the present moment, because again, all we have is this moment right here. We need to stop rushing through life to get to this finish line that keeps on moving. And again, tell ourselves, I'm open to the magic of today, and just let go. Let go into the moment. Next step, we want to dive into our feelings. Our feelings. I know it can be a lot, but we have to become best friends with our emotions. Tapping into our emotions is key because we mostly live our life through our subconscious programming, and we often react to situations rather than respond. By learning how to respond rather than react to situations, we are teaching ourselves to be more aware of how our emotions drive us, and we can learn to navigate it in a healthy manner. I'm going to let you in on an example of when I typically react to a situation rather than respond. And this often bogs me down and does not serve me in any capacity. But basically, I could be doing a brand new painting where I sketch everything out. I start painting and I'm looking at it and I'm like, oh my gosh, this is not what I imagined. It is kind of ugly. This is not cute. Like, I'm not talented. What is going on here? Why is it not turning out how I pictured in my head? Instead of taking a deep breath and reminding myself that this is the first time I'm even attempting to paint something like this. I'm not supposed to know how to do it. But the point of painting is to figure it out as you go, flow with the process, and continue to edit as you go along to come to your outcome that you like the best. While I'm feeding my mind these negative thoughts, all I'm doing is building negative emotions in my body around my self-worth, my painting, my talent, and essentially establishing a foundation of discontentment around trying in general. When you're finding yourself creating these negative narratives in your mind, you want to have what I call mental checkpoints. And checkpoints for me are a form of self-love to help you arrive to your higher self. These checkpoints are a tool for you to use when you come upon resistance in your day. So we often have those thoughts of, oh, I'm too tired. Oh, I'll do it tomorrow. Oh, I couldn't possibly do it because I don't have enough knowledge in this. And when those little negative thought patterns start to arrive, you go like, no, this is a checkpoint. Like you're going through security. You cannot pass. You can only pass with a carry-on, which is your positive affirmations, and the rest has got to go. Okay? Checking it at the gate. No passing by. Because you cannot bring that to your higher level, which is taking that airplane to your higher self, okay? For these checkpoints, you simply just got to ask yourself a few questions. It is, how am I feeling in this moment? How do I want to feel today overall? And what can I do to shift this energy, this emotion that I'm having to benefit myself and release what is no longer serving me? And a great way to do that is to start off your mornings by asking yourself these questions from your bed. You don't even need to get up. Take a moment to ask yourself, how do I want to feel today? So that you're already getting a jump start on having a positive mindset, and in turn, mastering your mind, mastering your emotions, because your emotions and your thought patterns play off of each other like a field day. So once you're addressing those two separately, you can learn how to work with them together. I also understand that having negative emotions, negative thought patterns is just a part of being a human, a part of all the programming that we've had until this moment. But we need to know the difference between allowing yourself to feel these emotions and giving yourself time to heal versus when it's overpowering you, becoming too much, and is not serving you and just tearing you down. That is the difference. We need to find that fine line. Also, give yourself a bit of compassion when these moments of resistance pop up. It is completely natural, and it is just your old self trying to protect you, keep your body regulated, and keep you out of that fight or flight mode. Keep your body safe from the unknown. We have to start being more intentional about getting out of our comfort zones so we can become more fulfilled and more empowered. All you have to do is get through that millisecond of resistance, that little hurdle of getting through that security gate so that you can take flight. I've been talking a lot about being intentional, but I truly believe that being intentional allows you to gain freedom from your mind and then lead with your spirit. So that brings me to our third and final point, which is choosing. And for me, my big word this year is adventure. So I'm naming this Choose Adventure. As we're breaking down these old cycles, we're getting rid of the old and allowing the magic of the new. Mastering your mind, it is not about restricting yourself, but about cultivating freedom for yourself, allowing yourself to play more, stop taking life so seriously. Note to self. Prioritizing productivity over just living and allowing yourself to inquire and explore is what is making you feel stuck in your old mindset. Gift yourself these new, exciting, beautiful experiences that replicate the person you are becoming and the life that you are meant to lead. That can look like traveling to new places, experiencing new cultures, doing new exercise routines, reading a brand new book from a new genre, connecting with nature. I really need to start doing that more because at times I forget to even look outside because I work from home. So I definitely would love to do that more, having your feet to the grass, choosing these beautiful moments of connection with yourself. And with every choice that you make in your life, you're combining both how you think and how you feel to make that choice. So we want to remember our affirmations, our mental checkpoints, and our 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 method to jump in, make that choice that serves your highest good. With that being said, I hope you guys enjoyed this week's episode and found it insightful, and will practice these techniques to help master your mind. Give this video a big thumbs up if you enjoyed it. Subscribe to the channel so you don't miss any more of these, and have a beautiful, blessed day. Peace.